Hey, how you doing guys? ZDEyE here. So today I definitely wanted to touch on regarding of a very recent topic. Basically what I'm trying to get at, Xbox Series X and also the PlayStation 5, they were both destined to be having sort of a difficulties of making a proper pre-order availabilities. PlayStation went with a different route. Maybe it was unexpected and maybe it was not of their control, right? Basically, retailers just on right there, right then, as soon as the showcase wrapped up, was already available for the pre-order. Even though the PlayStation Twitter page officially even mentioned that it is going to be available for pre-order the following day, but that never truly came into the fruition. Now we're touching on the Series X. They had actually an availability for its pre-order, the 22nd, like we already knew, basically of the recording of this video yesterday. And yeah, that didn't really go out properly either. Now, of course, it's not exactly in the similar vein as was like the PlayStation, because again, like I said, PlayStation had no real date or time on availability when we can be able to make these, pre-orders, right? It just happened. And again, maybe it was out of the PlayStation's control, maybe it wasn't, maybe it was, I don't know, of course. But Xbox, or I should say Microsoft, they had this under control. And look how that turned out to be. Let me get one thing out of the way. I don't mean to say like what Xbox did, it was awful, or what PlayStation did was bad also, right? No. I'm not touching on that. What I'm saying is just that in this case, we have seen two different approaches. One was done right, and I'm talking about that specifically as the Xbox, but it was not successful. And the other wasn't done right, and that was not successful. This is why either or both of them were not successful in terms of how it should have been handled in terms of the pre-orders. Now we have to understand, right? These consoles, they don't really come around quite often. Obviously, it takes 7 years for a complete, pure next generation of a console to come out. It takes a very long time. The demand is going to be extremely high. So when the PlayStation 5 was announced, a lot of the exclusive games and very appealing games coming too, especially on a launch date, obviously a lot more people would want to go towards the PlayStation 5. On top of that, there was just so much more going on with the PlayStation 4. It was like, I don't remember, it was like 2-to-1 in terms of the sales, in numbers. But yet again, there was a lot more people, and still are a lot more people, looking forward to the PlayStation, the ecosystem, and the games too, right? And so that's why also this made that the demand will be much higher on the PlayStation. And so when this situation came into fruition, basically, without any notice, you're available to pre-order right now the PlayStation 5, and everyone went mad. Especially after that, it was awful, right? Especially when people were trying to pre-order the console, but it never worked. Sometimes it would time out. Second times, it would be out of stock, just like that, in a few seconds or perhaps a couple of minutes. Because, like I said, the demand is extremely high. Xbox, let's get into that category. Xbox Series X or even S. Now, Xbox Series X, obviously it's not as demanding like as the PlayStation 5, but still it was not exactly well thought through either. Because as soon as the availability of a pre-order came, yeah, it came and kind of went. Right there, right then, when this pre-order was available, people went mad. They wanted to pre-order Xbox Series X, and some got lucky, and a lot more people were not. So as you can see, both of the consoles and both of the ways that they went about, it doesn't matter if it was intentional or not. Obviously for Xbox it was intentional. For PlayStation, I don't believe it was. You see, they both would have lost in their own cases. PlayStation 4 back in this day and PlayStation 4 and Xbox One had the similar case too. Before that, there were so many issues, we could never really pick up an order, or I should say pre-order, on the day when it was available at that moment. And so you always had to kind of constantly fight for it, more or less. Wait for the stock to be replenished so you will be able to make that order. You know, a lot of people got frustrated. And as you can see, like, what is there the best way to go about this, right? It just kind of raises the questions, and yet, you know, not much of answers that we can really reply with. Maybe we could have been, say, I don't know, giving an intentional time zones, right? For example, every 10 minutes there's going to be stock. One of the first people who will be able to purchase it, you know, those are the guys going to be lucky enough. Or, because like obviously, right there, right then, if all the stock is available, let's say like 1 million stock will be available right then, right? And so, many people come into one retailer, obviously the whole thing will just crash. Right, it's just like a lot of people will be very frustrated because, oh, this does not work, I couldn't secure my order and I had to refresh my page, my internet connection is not as good as many other people too, so I could never get the order on time. Like, you see, there's a lot of issues that could be presenting itself. Now, I'm not, that's just specifically, I'm talking about from one retailer shop, from online, of course. But we cannot exclude the rest of the retailers out there, right? In my case, because I live in Spain, I have two main ways of me making this kind of a purchase of a brand new console. And that's exactly what I did, right? I have Game Store and I have Amazon, well, Spanish Amazon. And I made sure that I would order on Amazon first because, you know, I want to have an access of the method of the speed, how quickly the console will come to me or, you know, would be delivered to me. And that's exactly what I did. I wanted to go with an express route, the quickest as possible. Obviously, I need to pay a little bit more, and I did manage to secure my order. But because there are some issues, right? There's so many things that could be issues in this case, right? Sometimes a pre-order could get cancelled. And so, you know what I did? I also ordered the same exact thing, but on a Game Store, a different retailer. As you can see, right, you're kind of securing yourself. That's exactly what I did. Now, again, guys, I'm not going to be picking up two consoles, right? I'm actually going to be canceling one as long as the other is going to be confirmed and going towards my way and guaranteed. And obviously, usually, it will come with a confirmation in the email. Well, yeah, that's just the reason, guys. Yeah, these two consoles, they were in a loss situation, and Microsoft and Sony, I really don't believe they could have done anything about this just to make it better. Sony 100% could have. For example, you know, putting proper pre-order dates and the availability of the consoles. They never really did that, and that was an issue. And then retailers kind of perhaps broken the law or whatever, and yeah, they just simply made it available right there, right then. And it's not exactly a good route to do that. Xbox did it correctly, but again, you know, they were having still issues of so many people trying to order that console. Xbox Series S, on the other hand, I kind of actually looked at it through on my Amazon, and believe it or not, Xbox Series S, the lower version of the $300, that's actually available even right now. I can actually order it. I actually kind of was a little bit incentivized, I'll be honest, because like I like the news about the Bethesda joining in with the Microsoft, and so it's like, interesting. It's a good. You see, this is what I'm talking about. Microsoft is doing good. Good job, Microsoft. Like, you're doing a good job, even though I don't really care about any Bethesda games, and like all the games has been confirmed that pretty much acquired by the Microsoft. They're doing a fantastic job, even though it may kind of suck in the future for PlayStation. You know what? I actually made a whole video about that. Take a look, guys. It was actually my previous video. Yeah, previous video. My last video, I should even say. You know, proper English. Yeah, that's gonna be exciting, of course. Now, again, I would not advise you making a purchase on day one of the Series X or Series S. What I would advise you is to wait for those incentivizing like exclusive games that you would want to be playing, and that's when I think it would be worth picking up that specific console. But that's just my reasoning. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Like and subscribe. As always, have a wonderful day. 2 o'clock in the morning here. I'm half asleep, but it was definitely necessary to talk about.